Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines. XRP Treasury backers. Oh, Evernorth, we got more for you. Skinny Federal Reserve master account. You're not going to believe this. U.S. government shutdown, Ripple, the Fed, the Treasury, and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.76 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 1.1%. We see Bitcoin 108,200 plus, Ethereum 3,800 plus, and XRP $2.43 right now. And we're off 1.1 on the 24 and off 3% on the 7-day. Looking at the range of price, ranging between 242 and 253 at the time of recording this video here. I want to tell you all about Caleb and Brown because I tell you what, a lot of people dealing with hacks and SIM swaps and all of this kind of stuff. And I tell you, you can make your life a lot easier by simply going to xrpwealth589.com, xrpwealth589.com, and sign up for your free account with Caleb and Brown today and begin to experience what the personal touch customer service with your prime broker is like. Not to mention multiple layers of security, and they have free institutional grade custody. You don't pay a thing for your institutional grade custody unless you buy, sell, or swap something. I'm telling you, and they do that because they're so confident in the personal touch service that you're going to get, the level of customer service you're going to get, that you won't want to leave that platform. And I got news for you. That's exactly what's going to happen because you're going to love the way that they do it. Click the link underneath the video or simply go to xrpwealth589.com and start getting the best night's sleep you've ever had since you've been into crypto. Now, let's kick it off right here. There's now 155 crypto ETP filings tracking 35 different digital assets. Could easily end up seeing over 200 hit the market in the next 12 months. Total land rush. Here's the list by coins. Amazing work from James Seifert. So you can see 20 now filings for ETFs for XRP alone. And the majority are 23 for Solana, 23 for Bitcoin, 20 for XRPs, 10, 16, I believe it is for Ethereum, and 10 for a basket. And then I want to take you into this thought too, and it is this. Nate Garazzi, my takeaway from this long list of ETPs and ETFs, he says, I'm highly bullish on the index-based and actively managed crypto ETFs. He says, no way TradFi investors are ready to navigate all of these single tokens. I think he makes a fantastic point. They don't know the difference between a Bitcoin and a stable coin, right? They're going to take a diverse shotgun approach to an emerging asset class. Seems obvious, and it certainly does. And I think this is a great observation by Nate, who has a really good overview of the market. No question about it, especially the ETF side. Now, let's continue this conversation because the U.S. government shutdown has us in a place where technically we are a few days past the October 18th when we should have seen the approval of the first ETF for XRP. And we have not, and we have yet to see it. So we have to say that this government shutdown is playing some role in delaying that, it would seem. Now, with that being said, Coinbase is urging the U.S. government to embrace blockchain analytics and AI to fight increasingly sophisticated money laundering schemes. And I keep asking the more broad question, will the U.S. government do an upgrade to blockchain DLT, let's say the XRP ledger, during the shutdown? I mean, if I upload new software to my computer, I got to shut it down and reboot it. I'm just saying all of this stuff is not mutually exclusive to me. Just like the Democrats are currently stalling the passage of the market infrastructure bill, the Clarity Act, for 1.5 trillion so they can continue this game with illegals. Now, I don't care if you're right or left, I'm independent. But what I can say is that this stall to get this bill through is really a political posturing. Obviously, I think we all know that, no matter what side you're on or not. Now, interestingly enough to me, the government shutdown, I believe, is in part about updating the systems and going to blockchain DLT. I hope that a lot of that has to do with the XRP ledger, but that would be remaining to be seen. Nonetheless, I'm bringing all of this up because how about the internet? Half of the internet shutting down. Half of the internet shutting down while government shut down. And the Dems are playing games with the money and playing games with money that real people in this world need that are struggling just so they can play the games that they want to play. Right. And I ask you, do you find that half the internet was shut down to prove to government that it was vulnerable to attack, vulnerable to control? Think of it for a moment. How important is that market infrastructure bill now? We just had half the internet turned off while the government was shut down. So to me, all of these things, and I know it's speculation, but all of these things for me, I see them tied together in my house. So then it brings in, how about getting this banking charter for Ripple approved? When are we going to see that? The original 120-day filing period put us at the end of October, early November. So we should be seeing something, but will the government shutdown, if they don't resume, delay that the way it appears to be delaying the ETFs? Well, I don't want to play this whole clip, but I do want to play the first few seconds of it. Take a listen.
You still want a banking license, right? Even though you have this deal with BNY.
Well, yes is the short answer. We have pursued and requested application to apply for an OCC license as well as a Fed master account.
There you have it right there from Brad Garlinghouse himself. Now, again, the government is shut down. The Fed is a private central bank, right? Stay with me. And the Federal Reserve, while the government is shut down and we lost half the internet, is hosting its Payments and Digital Asset Innovation Conference. How about that? Yesterday. And guess what? Ripple XRP didn't get an invite. Why, though? I think I know why. I'm going to guess on this, but I think I know why. One, we got Ripple over meeting with the Senate. Ripple's top lawyer is meeting with pro-crypto Senate Democrats this week to shape market structure rules. The regulatory framework is being written now. Miss this moment, and crypto in the U.S. gets locked out or gets locked into whatever comes next. And obviously, Ripple is there with Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderati. Now, why are we not at the Fed? I can't answer, but I got something for you to see. For one, let's hear Fed Governor right here. Governor Waller.
This is an acknowledgement that distributed ledgers and crypto assets are no longer on the fringes, but are increasingly woven into the fabric of the payment and financial system. Now, before we hear from these innovators, I would like to touch on roles that the Federal Reserve plays to support the private sector. These include serving as a convener to solve coordination problems and operating core payment and settlement infrastructure. We are also looking ahead, conducting hands-on research on tokenization, using smart contracts, and the intersection of AI and payments for use in our own payment systems. We do this to understand the innovation happening within the payment system, as well as to evaluate whether these technologies could provide opportunities to upgrade our own payment infrastructures and to enable us to have deeper conversations with the industry on these new technologies.
There you have that. That's Federal Reserve Governor Waller right there. And don't forget, the reason I can be confident that Ripple wasn't asked to come to this recent innovation meeting here is because Ripple's been sitting on the Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Task Force for years. Many, many, many years. Police Academy, cheap movie. You wouldn't know unless you know. Nonetheless, the big news from the Federal Reserve Governor Chris Waller announcing a potential skinny master account to facilitate payments. You don't say. But listen, it gets better. By giving non banks direct Fedwire and ACH access, Waller's proposal enables stablecoin issuers and tokenized asset platforms to settle on chain transactions without needing a bank intermediary. This promotes innovation, widens the ecosystem of payment innovators, and reduces debanking risks. Lots of details to work out, but a huge step by the Fed. Now, I want to take you right back quickly here to where he says, by giving non-banks direct Fedwire and ACH access. Okay? Let's take that apart real quick. Remember when we covered this back in 2020, I believe it was? The CFPB, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. Remember this? Rules and remittance transfers under the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. Remember this? Remember on page 38 when it talks about SWIFT, Global Payments Innovation, GPI tracking product, and went on to talk about the continued growth of fintech, non-bank remittance transfer providers. Non-bank. Let me just do it because I know you want me to, right? Non-bank. Right there. Non-banks. And here we are, non-bank providers and their further expansion into partnerships and other relationships with banks and credit unions. Oh, I'm about to get you one more time, too. Banks and credit unions. Oh, is it? Well, look at just what came out yesterday or the day before. As the U.S. Treasury develops stablecoin rules, we're making your voices heard and advocating for a framework that enables credit unions to safely innovate and serve their more than 144 million members in the digital economy. What does this say again right here? What does it say? It says here their further expansion into partnerships and other relationships with banks and credit unions. I'll be damned. And it goes on to say the continued growth and expanding partnership of virtual currency companies such as Ripple, which offer both the payments and messaging platform support cross border money transfer as well as proprietary virtual currency XRP. They have known for years what the solution was going to be. I offer you that right now. No question about it. This is super exciting to me. And when I look at where we're going, and I realize, coming back to my point about how I see the US government shutdown and how I happen to understand and see this half the internet going down while the government is stalling for political posturing. And it just so happens to be that half the internet going down makes a real damn good point about passing that Clarity Act because it's a new market infrastructure bill because the old one's too vulnerable to attack. And here on September 30th, they were supposed to start modernizing the payment system. And then the very next day, the Democrats force a close on the government. You tell me what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, maybe, maybe I've been out here too long. Maybe I'm not drinking enough water. I don't know what it is. Maybe you spoke to the home and I got to go back. I don't understand. But I feel like when you've been in this space long enough, you can kind of start to see around corners a bit. And all of this feels absolutely connected to me, not in just in soul, like this is the only reason these things are happening. I just believe from our perspective, our reality perspective, that this is all tied in and connected, at least at my house. It's not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.